Welcome to the Hunt, Gather, Nurture podcast, your go-to for an insider's look into the world of entrepreneurship. I'm Jason Burke, founder of The New Primal, and I'll be your guide as we explore the stories of visionary entrepreneurs reshaping industries to build remarkable businesses. With products in over 10,000 retail locations, I know firsthand the challenges and triumphs of the entrepreneurial journey. Join us as we uncover invaluable insights, practical advice, and other inspiring tales straight from the trenches. Our goal is simple: to empower you to succeed by learning from those who have blazed the trail before you. So grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's dive into this entrepreneurial adventure together. Welcome to today's episode, where we're going to dive into the inspiring lives of Justin and Kourtney Turner. Justin is a 15-year Major League Baseball veteran, two-time All-Star, World Series champion, celebrated not only for his achievements on the field, but also his impactful community work and advocacy for health and wellness. And alongside him is Kourtney, his wife, and she's an entrepreneur, philanthropist. They co-founded the Justin Turner Foundation that focuses on supporting veterans and children in need. And together, they share their journey of purpose-driven partnerships and authentic storytelling. I can't wait for you guys to hear this. Join us as we explore how they leverage their platforms to create lasting change and connect with audiences worldwide. Let's get into it. I am thrilled to be here today with people that I've been trying to get on this podcast for about a year now. So we've tracked them down. We have tied them down for this 30 or 45 minutes, and they can't go anywhere. So Justin and Kourtney Turner, I am stoked to have you guys here. Thanks for coming on.
Of course.
That makes us sound.
I know, we're so elusive.
Yeah, you guys are busy. You got a lot going on, right? There's podcasts, there's professional careers going on, there's, living in multiple cities, there's foundations, there's investments, there's book clubs, I hear. There's all sorts of like crazy stuff happening. So you're hard to tie down. That's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
I am too.
When you put it like that, yeah, I guess we're pretty busy.
Wow.
Yeah. Wait.
For my bio.
And
Perfect.
Throw in like parents in the middle of that, and you just
Yeah.
let's not forget about the most important job.
Most people at our age are looking forward to becoming empty nesters, and we're just getting started. So.
On our own time. We're doing it on our own.
I think that might be like the narrative of the entire show. Well, look, Justin, most people know you for your baseball career. And I think very few people know the rest of this story that we were just alluding to, and all these different layers to the onion. And I hope to get into some of that today. But, when did you realize, like at what point in your current career path for both of you, did you realize, oh, there's other stuff I might want to do too? Like I may want to get involved as an investor and in certain brands, or I may want to get involved as a partner. I want to start a podcast. At what point did you guys think like, hey, let's go beyond professional athlete and let's think about other things that we might add to this resume?
That's a great question. I think it's a very layered question too. If you talk to most baseball players, I think our goal our whole life, right, is to play Major League Baseball. We dream of it from the time we were little kids, and achieving that and getting there is everything. And then I don't want to say every baseball player, but I think once you get there and you've stuck and now it becomes a part of your life and a yearly thing, you start realizing there's a lot of perks of being identified as a baseball player, but you also start to understand that everything in your life is led with a baseball player. And I think not just for me, with Court, we met in 2012, and our relationship developing and getting married and all that, trying to move away from that identity as just a baseball player and just a baseball player's wife, I think was pretty important for us. So, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. It's the only thing you want your whole life. And then you get it and you're around it and you're like, wait a minute, like, that's not all I want to be seen for. That's not all I want to be known for. There's so much more to us than just a baseball family. And I think that was kind of the realization of the start to where there's opportunities to do a lot more things.
Yeah. What's the average like career span of a professional baseball player? Do you know that off the top of your head?
I
Uh,
think it's like 4 to
yeah,
5
yeah,
seasons.
yeah,
Yeah.
around
Wow.
four to
I know
five years.
football is like 2, 2.5 or something like that. It's crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause when you think of that in the grand scheme, it's like, well, yeah, it's a blip of your life, and so attaching your entire identity to one thing is, and again, it's what you've always wanted to do when you grow up. It makes sense, but then if the average span is 4 or 5 years, or again, you talk about football 2.5, 2 to 3 years, it's like, well, then what?
Right.
Who am I besides that, and what else do I do besides that? By the way, let's just plug this real quick because it's important. If the average is 4 to 5, what season are we on now?
Ooh, I'll be going into my parts of my 18th major league
I
season.
mean, come on,
Yeah,
come
I
on,
had
like
15 years of service last year. So
I mean, that is remarkable in and of itself. Like, we just should pause and like recognize like the longevity of any professional career, to do it at a high level, and the things the commitment that you have to make to your training, to your body, to the support you have to have around you on the family. I mean, that is remarkable. I mean, there are very few people that can say they went 18 years in something.
yeah, and I talked about dreaming of being a major leaguer and all that. At no point did I ever dream about or think that I would have a career that would last this long. So it's been pretty special, and I think you hit it on the head. It's not just me and what I do and my ability. It's the support group around me, especially this one sitting next to me, and the way she can handle everything at home while I'm off traveling for 2 weeks a month and um, doing my thing. It's been pretty incredible. It definitely takes the right person, and she definitely doesn't get enough credit for that.
It's a long season. Courtney, you're a saint, I think, and what he's saying is that he could not do it, and he wouldn't have been able to do it without your support.
Yeah, and I don't think if I would be able to do it if it wasn't him, because I feel like the way that he has such passion for what he's doing. I always say, like, if you love it, let's keep going, let's do it. If you're with someone and they're, in it for the wrong reasons or just going through the motions, I think I would have a harder time digesting the seasons and all the travel, especially now having a kid and the layer that that adds to it. But I think knowing how much he loves it, and just seeing him thriving doing it, I think it makes it that much easier on my side to support him and go.
Amazing, amazing. Well, what was harder, uh, Justin? This one's for you. What was harder, becoming great at baseball or becoming a beginner again in these other parts of your life?
I definitely like learning these other aspects. I think baseball has been a part of me since I can remember. I have photos of me holding a bat when I was 3 years old. So it's always been ingrained in me. I'm not saying baseball is easy. I'm not
Sure.
saying getting there was easy, but it was something that I've always known. So it never felt like work to me. Right. I got to go play a game. I get to go play a game every day. Now going on to some of this other stuff and partnerships and investing and brand building and Court has her podcast, like that is learning stuff that's all very foreign to me and trying to learn on the fly some of the times because we're very much like get an idea and let's just go and we'll figure it out along the way. So that part of it is a lot harder for me, but I think I appreciate a lot more, and I appreciate the partnerships through different companies, different brands, the people that I have who help us with our financial stuff because I'm very curious. I ask a lot of questions. I don't want someone just to do all the work for me. I want to know why we're doing what we're doing in all aspects, and um, it's fun because I think that vulnerability of not pretending that you know everything. I think it just makes relationships so much better.
I don't think you could have answered better than that. It's exactly what I was hoping you would say. Hey, I want to shift over though, or kind of dovetail on that a little bit with kind of translating some of this like sports psychology into capital allocation. Um, and so what do you think, what instincts do you think helped you most or have helped you so far most as an investor? And which ones come natural to you that you think might have hurt you?
Well, I think first and foremost, her instincts are incredible, and her feel, and she it's crazy. Stuff will come, and she'll just have. I mean, she doesn't say a lot. She sits back and she listens. She's a really good listener, and her instincts are off the charts. And she's been, I mean, finger on the pulse with just about everything that we've done. So, but I do think there is an aspect of comparing, the sports world to the investing world, and understanding team building, and understanding that it's not about one person, and understanding that it takes a group of people, and not just talent, and not just the right product, but it takes the right people. And I think if you look back at our Dodgers teams over the 9 years I spent there, those teams were just littered with talent up and down. But the one team that was able to win the entire thing was probably the closest team I've ever been on. It was the right group of guys. Yes, we had talent. Yes, we had a good product on the field, but it was the right group of people who were all pulling together. And there's no doubt in my mind that that's why that became a winner. And I think flipping onto the business side, you see that a lot in a lot of companies. When you have the right people driving it, obviously it takes a good product, and obviously it takes the right people running the ship. But when you have the right people together, I think it just that's the performance enhancer.
Got it. Got it. Early on, someone said to me, you either bet the jockey or you bet the horse, and I think the jockey sometimes then indicates the team, right? So you're thinking about the founder, you're thinking about the team they put around them, and again, great product, maybe cool dude. What's the team look like that's going to go out and execute all this stuff? I've seen so many average products win because they got the right team and the right people around them. And I've seen really great products die on the vine because they just couldn't get it together, just didn't get the right group together. And that seems to be a throughput across life. But it's a really great analogy you use about the World Series team. And thinking about that, uh, for both of you, what behaviors have you seen from some of the founders that you've aligned yourself with that signal like long term upside?
Yeah, I think energy is a big thing. Being able to present and sell us, not just on a product, or not just on a deck, or a bunch of bright colors and images, but sell us on, the future. Hey, this is where we are. This is where we're going. This is where we see ourselves in 3 to 5 years. And obviously, it takes numbers and a lot of stuff to back that up. I mean, anyone can just come in here and say that we're going to do this, but
Yeah.
the execution has to be there. But that energy, the passion, the belief in the product, I think you have to love your product, right? Like, and I think that's something
Mhm.
that we take a lot of pride in our partnerships. Is we're not just doing deals to do a deal. If it's not going to be in our house, if we're not going to eat it, if we're not going to use it, if we're not going to, you know, put it to practice in our everyday life, like, it's not for us, because we're not going to really get behind it and help support it. So I think that that's a huge part of it as well.
Yeah, I think authenticity for sure with the product or with the brand. It's, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people that can sell something and make it look great, but I think you can kind of get a good read if the person authentically believes in the product. And then in turn, that'll make us want to get behind it as well.
Yeah. Justin said that you have the really great instincts, Court, and that you sort of like can see things and like really, really. Where do you think that comes from?
I don't know. I think I'm just really observant, and I think I don't know. I mean, you could imagine that a baseball player has a lot of people approaching him and, trying to get him on board and say, "Hey, I have this great idea and I have this and that." And sometimes it's great people, really nice people. Sometimes it's an idea that seems really exciting, and I think you kind of have to, I don't know, collect all the information and just kind of use your, like you said, your instinct on it and see if it's the right fit. And that's not always going to make everyone happy because a lot of times you're saying no to things. But I think that's what helps us stay authentic and keep our credibility that it's not, okay, we could do this deal. Like, what's this? Okay, write a check and just say yes. Like, what's it to them? But I think we want to make sure that everything we're doing is aligning with things that we actually use, believe in, care about, and want to get behind.
Have you ever had a founder that you're like, oh, I love this guy, but I just can't back this product, or I can't do it? Like, has there ever been someone you passed on? It like
Yeah.
you don't have to tell
Yeah.
me who. You don't have to tell me who. Okay,
We
so good.
won't because you'll know 'em, but
Yeah, and actually, I mean, it's not that we had an opportunity with a company to get behind it, and just the structure of the deal didn't make a lot of sense at the time. Like, and we passed on it, and that company it's doing great. And I still, even knowing what I know now and how great they're doing, I still think I would have passed on the deal at the time with the way they had structured it. But there's a lot we see a lot of stuff, and a lot of times we're passing on a lot more stuff than we're signing up for. I'll put it that.
The deal still has to work, right? Like it could be the greatest brand, the coolest founder. It could have but like if the deal doesn't work, it's one of those like structural issues that like if you can't overcome, you can't overcome. I don't care if company's going to go public for $1 billion or whatever. Like if it didn't work, right? Just that's somehow sometimes just the way it works.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, the fun part about it too is like the learning process and going through all this and early, you know, guys would approach us and they would send us, these packages, and this is how we want to structure it. And, you know, I didn't know a lot about it, but they're throwing out all these warrants at us, and we'll give you
mm,
$100,000 in these warrants and yada yada yada, and it all sounds great. And coming to the realization that, like, okay, those are just kind of like fluffers in there to make the deal sound better than it is. And so that learning curve was huge for me, and being able to pump the brakes and kind of like siphon through some of these terms and some of these faux dollars that are being thrown out there. And when you realize what they actually are, you're like, okay, like let's get down to the nuts and bolts. Like, what's the actual structure of the deal? Like, what do we invest? I don't want to invest in monopoly money. I want to invest in something that's real, and a product that's real, and a product that, you know, we're not looking to, hit an Uber investment. I mean, that would be great if we did, but we want to invest in cool products that we can use on a day-to-day basis, and that I think we can get behind and love, and that we see will be a positive return on the investment.
you mentioned the number of deals you see versus the number that you kind of move forward with. Any sense as to like what percentage of deals you see you actually move forward with?
Yeah, it's pretty small, and I think we have a pretty good team around us. With through Vayner Sports, their marketing department. As you can imagine, being an athlete and whatnot, a lot of stuff gets thrown our way. A lot of stuff goes through the agency, and I think they probably filter way more than we even see. And then once it gets through them and they present it to us, we have a conversation between the two of us. We have a conversation with our financial people and try to make it make sense. And yeah, I don't know the number.
Yeah.
But it's pretty small, because I do think uh, we're pretty detailed about what we like and what we don't like, and how,
Intentional.
and very intentional. That's a good word. About what we want to get behind. Because again, if we're not using it, we don't want to put money in it and act like we're behind it.
Fair, fair. That authenticity matters, in my opinion. It's really hard to see. When I think about like, I don't know, and maybe this kind of marketing still works, but like even like when I think about like pro athletes, doing like I don't know Coca-Cola commercials and things, like you're not going to convince me today that that athlete consumes Coca-Cola every day. Like they're just not going to be a high level athlete and do that. And so I think the authenticity really matters in terms of alignment. But I would also say that your um, your filter is pretty consistent with the way I think angel and private equity investors think as well. I mean, I'd be if I had to guess, it's probably 1 to 2% of deals that people see they actually move forward with. Like it's probably a really small percentage.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
definitely small.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's also just part of it. I think you get 100 pitches and you end up with a single deal out of it. Are most of the deals in consumer products, things that you mentioned using the products that you have? Are most of them, would you say, consumer products? Are there other things like tech or anything like that that you've been involved in?
Yeah, we have a lot of investments, and we're pretty diversified in the investments, but the bulk of the stuff that comes through us through our agency is in merchandise or in the food and beverage space, or I had a deal with a sunglasses company, or stuff like that. But we invest a lot on the other side of it through our financial people who, since we've been with them, has been pretty incredible. And I think it's been, obviously they're helping us set ourselves up for the future, but it's been so educational for me, and being able to have that phone call and talk about some of these things and why we're doing what we're doing, and how they're able to get their foot in the door for us by their reputation. It's been really cool.
Well, I have met quite a few of the people on your team, and I can say that it's a really impressive group of people that you've surrounded yourself with. So kudos to you for that. Um, it's pretty impressive. Okay, all right. So I got a couple more core like investor style questions. Then I want to move down the list a little bit to some of the philanthropy and some of the other stuff that you do. Because I think again, we want to peel back all these layers to the onion, and I appreciate you being so vulnerable and sharing your story. Um, so just so I've got it, I've got three sort of investor based questions left. When you look at a brand, what matters more to you? Is it the product, the founder, the story, or the numbers?
That's a good question, because I think they all kind of play
Yeah, I feel like that's
hand in hand.
fine.
I mean, obviously, to even get our interest, it's the product, right? The product has to align with us. If it's something, say a food product that comes out and it's not dairy free, boom, it's off the board, because we haven't consumed dairy in how long now? 7 years. So
Yeah.
everything in the food portfolio that we get behind, it has to be dairy free, or obviously we're not going to eat it, we're not going to promote it, or we'll look fraudulent. So I think right off the bat, I think that's first and foremost. And then, we talked about it earlier, then you just talk about the people, and who's behind it and who's involved, and um, how successful they've been in other companies and driving other products, you know, to be successful. And after that, once you can get by those two, for me, then that's when you start digging into the numbers and see, how real it is.
Love that. Starts with the product. It all ties together. I get it, but it starts there.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the answer I want. So that's super helpful. Um, what do you think? You see a lot of pitches. So what do you think that founders like over optimize for in their pitches, and then what do you think they under optimize for?
Wow.
I know that's a tough one.
Over optimizing mean, what do you think that they put more into in their pitches?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think decks have gotten a little out of control. I think people spend a lot of time on these decks and numbers and putting faces of people on there, and I think that's. I mean, it's cool to have. It's cool to flip through.
You're
It's
like, give
cool,
me a one sheet. It's
but
fine.
yeah, I want to like get into more of the details about the product, and hear about it, hear about why it started, how you started it. Uh, is it something that they're using? Like, is it something that they actually believe in? I do think that the decks are a little out of control, or can be out of control.
Deck.
What about you?
I don't
What do you
know.
think,
That's
Court?
tough. I just feel like I don't love the like. This probably sounds bad. Like the fluff, like of us, like almost like kissing. I don't know. Like I feel like you kind of have to like butter up the people you're talking to, but I feel like it's us, and like we don't need the whole like song and dance. Like kind of, it's either like we like the product, we like the person, we're gonna like what they're doing, we're gonna believe in what they're doing. Like I don't know if it. I don't know. I just feel
You
like
kind
we're
of
very
are.
back. Like, I don't know how to explain that in the way of, like, just kind of, like, have a conversation. Like, it doesn't need to be this big, like, Shark Tank to do, or, like, kissing his butt and being, like those sort of things. I don't know if
She
that
hates
makes
it. She
sense.
hates it when people suck up to me. Like,
Well, I don't know. Too. Like, I don't know. And like, I don't know.
No,
Like, just the big.
I got you. No, listen, I got it because so I got two really good points that I talk to entrepreneurs about this all the time. And people come to me for advice on like, how do I build a deck? And will you look at my deck? And, how do I approach so and it's
Justin
very
won't,
frequent.
apparently. Doesn't want to look at it. So.
Well,
I look at
I
the
think what
deck and
happens.
it's like something.
No, listen, I think what happens is I have one of our earliest investors said to me, I put a deck in front of him one time and he said, Jason, this deck has so much sizzle and it doesn't have any steak. And it really landed really, it really landed for me because I went, oh my God, there's all this fluff, right? There's all this like visioneering and all this like, addressable market and all this stuff, but there's no substance, right? Like, where's the steak? Like, give it to me.
Right.
Kourtney, you said, give me one page.
So I guess like cut to
And
the chase kind of thing. Like get rid
yeah,
of all fluff. We don't need to spend 30 minutes like, doing this whole thing in the beginning. I think it's more like let's have a conversation as people and tell me about it and talk about it. And from there, I think we would learn a lot about the person, the founder, like if we're interested in it. Obviously, if we're already having that conversation, it means that we are already familiar with the product and we know it and love it and believe in it. So I think figuring out if the rest of it's going to work in the simplest of ways.
yeah, I think that's no, it's sound advice because the same thing happens when we pitch retailers is we have too much fluff and we don't really ever get to the point and it's like just get to it.
Right.
And also I think this is always a two-way street. And so what happens is like with someone, someone who's a star, right? Whether it's an actor or an athlete or someone, heck, at this point, influencers that are big stars, right? And someone's a star, people get starstruck, and then they do all this other extra song and dance. But I don't really care who it is. What I've learned in my hundreds of pitches over the years, some really good, some really bad. It's like it's a two-way conversation, right? You're getting to know me, but I'm also getting to know you. And this isn't just like you can't approach it with desperation where you just need like, oh, I need these guys to write me a check or it's like, hey, are we a good fit to work together? Like, let's talk. Like this is it's like a date, right? It's like let's get to know each other and let's like. So I think what happens is people get all pent up and they show up and they do all this song and dance and they do this kissing up and there's all this fluff and we kind of miss the point.
Right.
So I think that's what you're trying. I think that's where you're going with a lot of that. And
yeah,
I
like,
appreciate that.
Tell me how you started. Tell me where you are now, and tell me where you want to go.
Yep, that's right.
done.
That's right.
Oh, there's your steak.
I love it. I love it. All right. So then how do you decide when should you use your names and your platforms and then when not to? Because I'm sure there's deals that you do, right? That maybe you don't ever like personally promote, or maybe you promote all of them, but do you distinguish between the two?
No, I think more like the investments, like the non-marketing, like brand deal investments. I don't think it matters who he is. Like, I think that's more like on our financial group side and for them to kind of show us, hey, we found this and we think this is going to be a good fit for you guys, yay or nay. And obviously they'll present it and they'll give us the rundown. But with those sort of things, they're the experts and it doesn't really require us to be using the product. I guess we kind of have to just believe in what they're doing. I don't think it matters. I think for like the ones that other people will see, like it matters who we are in the sense of like getting our foot in the door. If it's something that we like, we've brought a lot of things to his agency and said, hey, we're using this, we enjoy it. Like, can you start a conversation? And sometimes things come from it and sometimes they don't. So I think in that sense, we've definitely used the platform.
Yeah, especially with Bo, right? Like, especially with our kid now, he has things that he likes and things that he doesn't like, and Kourtney's really good on social media and putting stuff out there, and she has companies reach out to her all the time, for Bo actually, which is kind of
Stage
funny.
mom already.
But
I love it.
if it's something, like bibs, right? Uh, our guy loves bibs, and they reached out to Kourtney, and we send it to our marketing people. Our marketing people help set up a deal, structure a deal, and bang, next thing we know, we're walking through Target shooting social media ads for bibs,
Pacifiers.
for pacifiers, right? And
Can't get any more authentic than that.
yeah, I mean, it's crazy. We literally go through, and our beau is in the shopping cart reaching out, trying to grab these pacifiers off the wall. And we're like, well,
Well,
that's it. That's done. So like, that's the
Love it.
authenticity that we're talking about, where we're not having to fake it or curate it. And it's just having the team around us is great, because they kind of help us take these opportunities that maybe someone's thinking, these companies are thinking like a one-off social media post type thing, which is very archaic and old fashioned. And Vayner Sports and their marketing team, they're incredible at thinking outside the box and turning these old school one-off, Instagram posts into brand deals that last over 12 months. And there's, commercials and podcasts and things tied into it to make it, where it's kind of more worth our time.
I think you
Well,
saw like a bunch of athletes, sorry, like doing the one-offs of like, here's the mattress I sleep on. And then we have like the mattress that we love. And it turned into, a brand deal with us, but then incorporating the foundation. And then they come out to the golf tournament and there's
yeah.
sponsorship. And then they're supporting not only just us, but they're supporting, our foundation, our platform as well. So I think creating this whole world around just what some guys would say, oh yeah, I'll do that post, X amount of dollars done. Sure. I don't even know if they sleep on the mattress or not, but making it something that's incorporated into everything that we care about, I think is a huge deal.
They're even starting to tie in stuff like with her podcast now. It's pretty cool having all these different arms and being able to tie them all together, because of the brand that we built and because of the intentionalism that we put into it. uh, Everything kind of is like a well-oiled machine, and kind of everything ties into one another for these specific things that we like to do.
Yeah.
So you just gave me the perfect segue.
You're
So
welcome.
thank you so much. I got notes, and I like write notes down, but you gave me the perfect one. Kourtney, let's talk about your you mentioned brand deals and some of the influencer stuff, and then now the podcast, and how that ties together. Can we just zoom in on your podcast and zoom in on some of the brand deals that because I think it sounds to me like the brand deals that you're doing that are not, maybe you're not even necessarily making an investment, but it sounds like your approach to that is very similar to the investments that you make. It's something that's authentic to you, something that you're using in your everyday life. Then it sounds like there's becoming this really nice holistic approach to like the partnership, which is not just a single like, oh, let me throw an Instagram post up with, a pacifier and my kid, but let's create meaningful marketing. Let's tie it into this foundation, which I want to talk about here in just a second. Let's tie it into the podcast. Can you just speak to a little bit about your podcast and, what the intention is of the podcast that you have? Like, what's the type of content that you put out there, and then how that kind of all ties together in this picture holistically?
Yeah, I started the podcast, like a lot of things. It was born through COVID. I think the season shut down, and Justin had got me the podcast kit for Valentine's Day. So he's very romantic. Instead of the chocolates and the flowers, he got me a podcast kit that year. The
Good gift
season was
idea.
shut down, and I came downstairs in our condo the next morning, and the podcast kit was laid out and set up. And he said, "You want to start a podcast? Let's do it." And we kind of hit record. And I think at the time didn't really know what it was going to be, what we're going to talk about, but it was a lot of like getting through the pandemic, the season starting back up, a lot of things through our foundation that we were doing while everything was shut down. And I think as much as I thought my podcast was going to be a way of me kind of having my own thing and showing people my side, I think it kind of became a lot of baseball life, which I think there's a big interest in. And Justin joins me on it, more than he doesn't. But I think it's a good way to give people a look into our lives and what we do and travel and the season and bringing on other baseball wives and kind of showing what they're all about, everything we're doing. Yeah, foundation wise, our events, yeah, bringing different guests on. He's had teammates on, managers on, we've had actors on, singers on. I still feel like I have imposter syndrome with it, even 6 years later. Yeah, I think it's something I've always wanted to do. I feel like everyone has a podcast as we're sitting on your podcast, but I think there's a ton of them, but I enjoy it. And I think one of the biggest compliments I ever got with it was that Justin got them in the room, but that I made them stay. And I feel like that was like a
Mm,
huge deal for me because there is that thing of, okay, people are just with me because they're trying to get to him, or I'll do a segment on the news for our foundation and under me it just says wife of Justin Turner, and so it's
mm.
obviously that's what got people in the room, but I want to make sure that people are staying and that they're seeing me and enjoying me as well.
I think that's the beauty in partnership. Can you just tell us the name of the podcast so that we can make sure that everyone knows how to find you and what it is?
Yeah, it's called Holding Court. The court's with a K, obviously. Little
Such,
clever
su
name.
what a brilliant name for a podcast. I wish I had a cool name where I could say like holding court.
It's amazing. I want
Gosh.
to give her flowers real quick on this because we did start it on a whim, like we do a lot of things, no plan really. And we did have a conversation with some of the people over at iHeartMedia, and Lon Rosen, who's the VP of marketing with the Dodgers, and had a few questions about it. And the one thing they told us is the average podcast only makes it like 8 episodes before they're like, ah, we're over this. And she's going on to her, I think, 160th episode. Her next one will be. So very proud of that. And the other thing that I think is really cool is she's had some companies come to try to bring her on board and want to pay her for it. And along with that comes, a little bit of a sellout, and you have ads, and it's so annoying when you're listening to a podcast sometimes and then it cuts in the middle of it. And she's resisted all that, and she wants complete creative control, which allows for her to, in these brand deals, organically talk about some of these products that we end up doing partnerships with. And I think that part of it is pretty cool that she's still holding strong. Not saying that she wouldn't consider.
I know, I'm like, if you guys are out there and
Not saying
everyone
she
has a
wouldn't
price,
consider, but
so
you
no,
know,
I think and with the brand deals as well, we had, Court Furniture is a rental company that helps, I mean, everybody relocate, but I think for baseball families, it's a huge brand. And I think on the podcast, we're just talking about our move and things that made it easier. And it wasn't even something I had to do, but I just started talking about our experience with it. And then Haley's like, "Oh, I'm going to clip that and send that because it's allows me to talk about things just in our normal life." And I think that that goes back to the authenticity of just being able to share that story, but also showcasing a brand that we love and has helped us out. And I think, yeah, like you said, I haven't signed on, and there's not the cut in of ads that are with probably almost every podcast, but I think that those types of stories about something is better than, okay, here, use this link, Kourtney 10 for this, which again, like never shutting the door on that because you never know. But for
Yeah.
now, I think it's given me more freedom to be able to record what I want to do and do what I want to do with it. It's a lot of work. Some days I'm like,
Yeah.
can someone take this over and do the whole thing and produce the whole thing and all that? But
I
for
feel you.
for now,
I
there's too much pride in me, but we'll see.
well, you guys, there's something that's come up a little bit around, your relationship and the alignment that you guys have and this holistic picture now between the podcasts and maybe some of the influencer and the athlete and the foundation, which we're almost there. How do you divide your roles without ego creeping in?
We don't. No.
no, I think I I want her to be as successful as she can possibly be at everything that she does. And I mean, she is successful at everything that she puts her hands on. And most of the time, 99.9% of the time, I have nothing to do with it. It's just because she is a go-getter. She's self-made. If you want to rewind a little bit, like she moved out to LA by herself when she was 19 and put herself through college and was a survivor. She hustled in marketing jobs. And I think that's, you asked earlier, like where her kind of her nose comes from to be able to sense
Yeah.
stuff out. I think that has a lot to do with it because she's been around a lot of people. She literally grew up in the marketing world in Los Angeles, and um, she did it all on her own. She took jobs that most people probably wouldn't take to pay bills, and put her way through college. Graduated from UCLA, and um, I couldn't be more proud of her. And I think that's I think that is why she's so successful at everything that she does want to do because uh, she just once her mind's set on it, she's not going to fail. She's going to go.
He
Some
wants to go
grit.
golfing after this. No, I'm kidding.
He wants to go golfing.
Well,
You
I
know,
think
I
there is a struggle with roles, and I think that we just kind of, I don't know, I feel like we do a good job of, like, knowing what the other one needs to do to make the other person successful. And I think in sports and with sports wives, you see a lot of resentment with spouses. The guy's away and it's no fault of it's just their career. And then you add kids into it. Some people add 4 or 5 kids into it. And it's like, oh my gosh, they're not home. They can't help me with this. But I think it's just kind of an understood thing, and I think that he becomes, supercharged dad when he's home and does what he can to make the most of his time and make up for it, but I think just playing to your strengths and understanding roles and schedules and doing what you can to stay a team, I think is the key to it.
man, how good is that? Do you guys have a decision? You guys have a decision rule when you disagree on something? If you're not in agreement, what's the rule?
Mm,
Oh, I usually just let her win.
yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to be a debate for a while, I think.
Yeah, I think you definitely, like, just let it ride if it's yeah,
But at
I
the
don't
same
think
time, I think like if I don't think it's something that if I don't think it's right, like, and she strongly feels it is right, then go ahead, go do it. And if it doesn't work out, like it's for the better for both of us because in failure, uh, that's how you grow. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
it's hard if everything we did and every decision we made was successful and right. I mean, I don't think I don't think there's any growth in that.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Okay, I want to pivot because we're running out of time. I want to get to the foundation, and then I got some rapid fire. We'll close it out. So, can we just talk quickly about the foundation? Tell me what it is, what it supports, and what made you decide that you wanted to start one.
We started the Justin Turner Foundation in 2016. I think we realized early on in our relationship that we had a platform and that we could use it for good. I think Justin found through interactions with kids and veterans at games, how much of an impact he could have through just simple gestures. And so we started it after we had our first ever Justin Turner Golf Classic. We were raising money to open up a homeless veterans home at the Dream Center here in Los Angeles. And we threw together that event in, I don't know, it was 3 weeks. It
Yeah.
felt really fast, but it was a success. And I think we sat down after and realized, okay, we can do more. We want to organize this into making it official, making it a foundation. And our 2 beneficiaries are children that are going through the unthinkable, battling life-altering illnesses and diseases, and like I mentioned, homeless veterans. And then we do some work with, some youth baseball and then things that have come up, the fires in Los Angeles or through the pandemic, we did stuff through the Dream Center. But, yeah, I think just it all goes back to the platform and what you're given through that and how you wanna use that. And guys can choose to just use it for the game, use it for fame or whatever. But I think for us, we wanted to use it to try to reach and help as many people as possible.
Yeah. I mean, I
Wow.
think, you know, early in my career with the Mets and with the Dodgers, it was, you sit around and you wait for the team to come to you and say, "Hey, we have this event at a school where we're gonna go read a story to these second graders. Would you want to do it?" And you're like, "Yeah, absolutely." And you go and you love it. And then, "Hey, we're gonna, go visit kids at the hospital over Christmas who have to spend their Christmases in the hospital, and we're gonna take presents." And you go and you do it, and you come out of there just, I mean, incredible, these kids and the resiliency and what they're going through and their outlook on life. And then you start waiting for the next time they ask, and you're like waiting, okay, when are they going to ask me to do something else? Like, I want to go back. I want to go back. That's the beauty of the foundation, is we don't have to
Yeah.
wait anymore. Host our events. We raise our own money. We've made so many unbelievable relationships with not only our beneficiaries, but with our supporters. And we get to go and do whatever we want and impact kids wherever we want, whenever we want, without having to wait for the Dodgers or wait for, someone to invite us. And I think that was really, really like uplifting for us to be able to do that, and um to have the impact that we've had on LA. And um it's just, I feel like it's an obligation, right? For especially for athletes, we get to play a game for a living. I said that earlier. We're so lucky to be able to do what we do, and there's 40,000 people pay a lot of money to come watch us play a game. So
Yeah.
when we have free time and we have opportunity to get back out in the community and serve and lift people up and pick someone up in need, and or someone who's going through a tough time, like that I feel like we're obligated to participate in that.
Truly putting your money where your mouth is. And I would say that you guys are that what's coming through in this, outside of just like the authenticity of like who you are and how you show up in the world. You guys are really entrepreneurs, because everything I'm hearing is you want to own your own destiny. You want to give back. You want to be a part of it. You don't want to wait on somebody else. You're just going to go do it. You're going to move quickly, right? Like, I'm hearing all this. Like, you're a true entrepreneur in your spirit, no matter what you've done and how your career has led you to here. Like, I hear that through line and everything. Outside of like, I mean, you guys are the salt of the earth, and I'm not just blowing smoke. I mean, anyone who's going to, you could just write checks, right? You could just write checks and be like, oh yeah, the food bank needs this, or the kids place needs this. You could just write checks, but you've decided to take it on to another level and actually have a foundation. You host events. That takes a lot of work. I understand how much work that is. You have to be extremely intentional to keep that going. How can people support that cause, and how can they be involved? You host a couple of events. Are there other things that people could be doing?
Yeah, they can go to our website, justinturnerfoundation.com, and I post about different things we have going on. We just had our ninth annual golf tournament, which is crazy, and it was a great success. And always trying to think of different things, even when he signed in with different teams in different cities, trying to give back in those communities as well. So we have our LA Marathon team. I think this will be our, oh gosh, eighth
Eighth
year
year, yeah.
as a charity partner. So I have a team of runners that come out and do the 5K, the half marathon, and the marathon. And we all fundraise and do what we can to bring more funds to our beneficiaries. And that's been a whole other world for me, because I was not a runner when that started. And it was one of those things where they came to us and said, "We want you to be a charity partner." And we said yes. And then I thought, oh, I'll just get away with running the 5K. And then here I am. I've run 6 marathons now. Joke's on me. They
It's
actually
actually it's actually a funny
to run.
story, because she opened up her fundraising page, and she was planning on just running the 5K
Yeah,
because she was not a runner. And
still not.
all these donations started coming in, and it was like, "I can't believe you're running the marathon. This is so cool. This is so cool." And she was like,
I'm a fraud.
"Shit, like, I can't take this money from people who think I'm running
The half,
a
yeah.
full marathon, and I'm only gonna run the 5K." So I think the first year you ran the half, and the second year you
Yeah,
ran
in
the
2.5 weeks, I got ready and I ran the half. And right at the finish line, one of the guys
to
from the
ABC News or something.
no, it was the Dodger. It was
Oh, yeah.
Backstage Dodgers. He walked over and said, "So, Court, what do you think? Next year, full marathon?" And of course, you feel like you're on top of the world. You have everything
You had your runner's
rushing
high,
through you.
yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And so the next year I ran the full marathon. And when he was playing in Boston, I ran the Boston Marathon for the Red Sox Foundation. It's kind of become a little side quest of mine, but that's our next thing on the calendar. And then we always come up with different ideas to fundraise and get people to get involved. So yeah, justinturnerfoundation.com. They can keep up with us there.
Love it. And they can watch you run these marathons too, and cheer you on. Uh, I have not run a full marathon, and I'm not sure that it's in the cards for me. But
Me
you're kind of
either.
inspired. You might be inspiring me, but then I'm like, I don't know. It's rough.
Have you
It's a
ever
rough one.
watched a marathon? Because that will inspire you. Go to the finish line, but go to the finish line after 5 or 6 hours after it started, because those are the people with the reasons. The people in the beginning,
Mm,
that's just God-given talent. They're
Right.
just
yeah,
good, and they wake up and they run. But the people that are crawling across the finish line,
Oh
their
yeah.
friends helping them over. You have people that battling cancer, had transplant surgeries, have everything. They're running for
Lost a loved
people that
one.
they've
Yeah.
lost, and they're doing it as a
mm,
dedication, and they fall to their knees and they're praying and they're crying, and it's just that
We've
is
seen a proposal. We've seen a
we've seen a
proposal at the finish
proposal.
line. Yeah.
That's better than any movie, any TV show. Go to the marathon for the late when they start to narrow down the finish line and the street sweepers are coming out and those people are still finishing. That will inspire you, and
done,
then you could do a 5K.
done, done, done. Perfect. All right, I'm
Oh, cool.
inspired. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I love this. All right, guys, you've been very gracious with me on time. I've got 5 rapid fire questions for you, and we'll close it up.
Let's do it.
Uh, do me a favor. I'm going to cut this little piece. When we finish, I'm going to hit stop, but don't hang up right away. I want to make sure the upload fully goes. It'll just
Oh
take
yeah,
2 seconds.
Oh yeah.
no worries.
Okay, 5 rapid fire questions. Investing. Is it more like baseball or poker?
Baseball.
Talent or resilience? What compounds faster?
Resilience.
Yeah, I was gonna say you gotta go resilience.
Mhm. One word founders should stop using in their pitches.
Oh, jeez.
Sizzle? No.
Yeah.
Sizzle. We can go with sizzle, and we can
Probably like,
even just
I mean, probably like slam dunk or home run or like trying to sell this monster ROI.
I love that. I love that. All right, final one. If this doesn't have to be rapid fire, but it's close. If a founder listening to this feels like maybe they're in the 7th inning stretch, they're tired, they're unsure, but they are still playing the effing game, what would you tell them?
Keep going. There's 27 outs for a reason. You never
Yeah.
know. You never know what run you score will be the winning run. Think of that.
That was deep.
Love it.
Wow.
Love it. No, keep going. I don't know if you follow me on LinkedIn. I'm kind of a big deal there, but no, I'm just kidding. But
Can we go back to what people shouldn't say in there?
but I say keep going at the end of almost every LinkedIn post. So I love that you just tied this together with all of that. Okay, I'll cut that part for sure. Justin, Kourtney, thank you for joining me today. It is a real pleasure, a real honor to have you here and to share your story and to unpack some of this with you. I mean, this has been a little bit all over the place, but you guys that's who you are. You are dynamic humans who do a lot of great things in the world. And the way you show up is inspiring. It inspires me, and I'm sure it will inspire many of the founders and the people that listen to this show. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us. Yeah, that was fun.